Blues in the Bronx for the New York Mets as they lose 2 out of 3 to the Yankees in the Subway Series. Welcome to Mets Daily. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio. Make sure you subscribe and smash that thumbs up on this video right now. We appreciate the support. You can follow me at Jake Brown Radio. I was in the building all weekend, as you can hear from my voice. Always enjoy being back in the Mecca in the Big Apple. Most of this voice is shot from the Knicks celebration on Friday night, which was life-changing. And they haven't won a championship yet, but first time in 25 years. Mets, listen, there's a lot to dissect from this series, and let's start with Sunday night. Pete Alonso. You know, he's come down to earth. Listen, I obviously was against bringing him back. It turns out to be right. They brought him back, and I'm happy about that. But we got to be real about Pete Alonso. There's going to be ebbs and flows. Right now, he's in a downward spiral. He started the year great. He's hit, his average is 300, which is still great. But this was a guy who was 340. It's taking a deep dive down. And listen, I don't want to hear he's a good defensive player. He's not. He's gotten better, but he's not a great defensive first baseman. And I'm not going to let one play or, a throw home that reminded us of Lucas Duda say, the Mets aren't going to bring Pete Alonso back because he can't make throws to the bases. But he's got to get better at those. That was I'm not going to say simple throw home. I'm not a baseball player. It wouldn't be fair for me to say that, but that's a play you have to make if you're the franchise first baseman, paid as the highest paid first baseman in all of baseball. You're not being paid as a DH. You're being paid as a first baseman. And he's good getting scoops. He's good extending at first base. But the guy gets the nips. The yips, not the nips. The guy gets the yips throwing to the bases. And that throw home was insane. He threw that in Staten Island. It almost hit me. I was a little to the left of the Mets dugout or third base side. Yeah, the Mets dugout almost hit me. It came in my direction. I thought it was coming at me. I thought Pete was throwing at me for them Mets not sign him in the offseason. So that's, inexcusable. They didn't score enough. That's the key. 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs. That's not going to get you wins against this Yankees offense. But, man, I'm starting to get concerned with these Pete throws because that one was not even remotely close. He said throws to first that were not remotely close. What is going on? I don't think he has a bad arm. I think maybe he tries to aim it, and because he aims it, he airmails it. I don't know. But it's a bit alarming. Ryan Static says knee was barking. If he said that, the Mets should have took him out. And I don't think Genesis Cabrera is a better option, clearly, as he gave up a grand slam to Cody Bellinger, which, by the way, no right fielder is robbing that home run. I saw a lot of Twitter discourse of Bellinger would have caught that, or any other right fielder would have put a better effort. Soto was scared to go into the crowd. The ball landed in the second row. That's just a Yankee Stadium homer. Not every right fielder's getting that. I don't think any right fielder was robbing that home run. So that was a ridiculous take by some people I saw on the old X.com. So, Genesis Cabrera wasn't any better, although he did strike out Judge, which was surprising, and then gave the grand slam to the lefty, which he's supposed to get out. Static Steve was barking, he should have been out of that game. That's not a game you need to keep a guy in if he's not 100%. Ryan Stanek is replacing A.J. Minter, essentially. And I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. But, yeah, the rest of the series, Edwin Diaz, gas. He was electric on Saturday. But what are you going to do? You don't score enough runs. It's going to be tough to win ball games. McGill was not great Friday. And, again, the offense didn't score enough. Saturday, they scratched at the win. Building was great. It was electric. I think Sunday night was probably the most electric. Saturday, 1 o'clock after the Knicks celebration. It's tough, but 25 years in a row. Love the Subway Series. Great seeing everyone. Great seeing my friends. Had a blast over the weekend at the ballpark. Very exhausted, as you can hear. 3 in a row is very tough to do. I feel like a player. I don't know how they do it 162 times a year because 3 games in a row is a fan, and I'm tired. But, yeah, Subway Series is down. And, the concern of the weekend is the bullpen. Ryan Stanek is not A.J. Minter. Jose Castillo, who's on the team now, is not even Danny Young, let alone A.J. Minter. So We're still a month or so away from Brooks Raley or more. We're not sure the date he's going to be back. You know, Mets signed him, rehab. We don't know when he's going to be on this roster yet. You know, you got these guys that are Band-Aids right now, but this bullpen is a concern. Hennis Cabrera is a nice pitcher. He's a 4A pitcher. That's the reality of the situation. He's pitched in the big leagues. He's been a solid big league pitcher. I don't know if he's going to be a left-hander in this Mets bullpen for the rest of the season. I hope he is. He's been a little up and down. Not terrible. I'm not going to hate on his career. He's not been terrible. Gave the grand slam last night. Stanek's been very erratic. I don't trust Stanek in a tie game right now. You know, he's putting guys on. He's walking guys, giving up doubles. You know, the throw home is on Pete. That's not on Stanek, but otherwise Stanek put them in that tough position. So, you know, he has not been good in these tie games. So, Stanek's numbers aren't terrible, but I don't know. He's just been a little bit alarming. Reed Garrett, I don't trust him either. I'm sorry. Reed Garrett, when the clock turns to May, he struggles a bit. And, you know, I don't know how much faith the Mets have in him. And Max Kranick has fully come back down to earth. You know, I don't think Max Kranick's going to stick all season. His ERA is up to 4, which doesn't sound terrible, but when you were at 0 for a while, to get to 4 means you've kind of been imploding. I think the league has caught up to Max Kranick. Still a great story, still a solid piece, but he's been struggling a bit. Reed Garrett, 3 walks. I know he got the win Saturday, but my God, can you stop walking the yard? What is going on? So it's hard to complain about Reed Garrett, the 1 ERA. The guy who's been the guy I trust most, and he got in a little bit of a jam Sunday, but got out of it, is Huascar Brazoban. Huascar Brazoban, with his 1 ERA, has been the most reliable Met reliever besides Edwin Diaz, who said, I could do whatever I want right now. His confidence is all the way there, which is great to hear. But again, you got to get the ball to Edwin Diaz. And Brazoban, to me, looks like the guy that should be the Mets setup man. When the Mets got him, remember, he was one of the best relievers in baseball. His ERA, one of the best in sport. So I think the Mets got to be in a position here where we're saying, you know what? Our 8th inning guy is Huascar Brazoban. It's not Ryan Stanek. It's not Reed Garrett. Those are our bridge guys. Our setup man right now is Huascar Brazoban. Despite getting the jam, the guy I'm most confident in, I think, in these spots is him. So that's changed. You know, I think it was Reed Garrett. It may still be Reed Garrett, but I don't know. Reed Garrett is scaring me. I love him. Bald, beard, my doppelganger, better looking, but bald and a beard. We know I love a balded beardy. A bearded baldy. A bearded baldy, a baldy bearded. But he's come back down to earth. But Brazoban continues to be lights out. Griffin Canning was lights out on Saturday, but this bullpen's going to need help. There's just no trade out there. Maybe they get similar to a Jose Castillo, some player in the scrap heap, but you know, if not, they got to get someone from the minors up here. Like, give Tyler Zuber a shot. Give one of these arms of the minors a shot because you don't want this bullpen to implode. Doesn't get any easier for the Mets as they head from the Bronx up to Boston. The Mets will ship up to Boston today. 3-game series. It'll be Senga versus Dobbins. And, you know, it's getting tight, guys. You know, there's only so much longer we're going to say it's all good. The Mets are in first place. It's now 29-18. They have a half-game lead on the Phillies, who have won 3 in a row. The Phillies 28-18. The Mets 29-18. And despite losing 2 or 3 over the weekend, still second most wins in baseball, tied with the Dodgers, who have the same record. And the Tigers still cruise, 31-16 for the Tigers. But the Mets right behind them. And, you know, the Red Sox are a tough test this week. They're 2 games under 500. They were my pick to win the American League. But they've dealt with some injuries. It'll be Dobbins tonight. It'll be TBD tomorrow. And it'll be Garrett Crochet on Wednesday against Tyler McGill. And, you know, I mentioned Tyler McGill struggled. Tyler McGill will be out of this rotation soon, guys. I think there's a chance Paul Blackburn replaces him. McGill has come back down to earth. The command is not there. He's getting back to be a 6-inning, 5-inning, 4-run kind of guy. And, you know, when your rotation's been lights out as the Mets is, you know, that sounds like terrible. It's really not awful. But McGill's coming back down to earth, and I think he's going to get replaced here fairly soon. and you're starting to see, hey, we could use Mania back. We could use a little bit of Montas right now. The rotation's still been good, but they could definitely use reinforcements. And maybe McGill ends up being, a middle relief guy, a long inning man, a fifth, sixth inning guy if a starter gets into trouble. But his days as a starter for now are ending soon. He's come back down to earth here. So we'll see how soon it is, if the Mets are going to wait for Mania, or, Blackburn's ready. Are they confident enough to throw Blackburn out there? I know a lot of Mets fans are saying, I've seen enough, put Blackburn out there. But Blackburn goes out, has one start, three innings, 5 runs. You're going to say, damn it, I was wrong. Let's go to Sproat. And then it's going to be, let's go to the next guy. So that'll be fascinating to see. But Mets Red Sox, tough series. Crochet on the mound, like this kid Dobbins. But you have all faith in Kodai Senga to get the Mets back in the winning column tonight at Fenway Park. Clay Holmes tomorrow, McGill Wednesday, and I will not be there in Boston. Too much travel. Headed back home to South Jersey today. But Mets, Sox, and then the Dodgers come to town at Citi Field. So it doesn't get any easier. Mets got to bounce back quick. It's still a loss 2 out of 3. I know it's Subway Series, so it feels bigger. It's still 2 out of 3. The sky is not falling. It's just more frustrating when you lose to the Yankees and you got to hear about it from your Yankee fan friends. That's the frustration. But in the end, they'll be fine. Got to fix these bullpen issues. The lineup has been erratic. Guys are coming down to earth here. It seems like Vientos is hitting better. Everyone else isn't, but Vientos isn't fielding. Alonso's come down to earth. Lindor's in a little bit of a slide. Marte's still around 200. So got to get the bullpen together. But a fun weekend in the Bronx. Hope you all had a blast. Enjoyed it. Congrats to the Yankees for taking part 1. We'll see you 4th of July weekend for part 2 of my favorite series of the year, Subway Series. 25 years in a row. The tradition continues. Hopefully we'll keep it going in 2026 as well. Smash that thumbs up in this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments about the Subway Series. What are you worried about? What about the Mets is concerning you right now? Again, first place. Maybe not for long. Only half game up in the Phillies, who are coming up. Let me know in the comments. Follow me at Jake Brown Radio and share the Mets Daily channel with your family and friends. Memberships are coming very soon, likely sometime this week. So stay tuned for that announcement. Thank you so much for being part of this Mets Daily journey. Subway Series in the books, off to Fenway, shipping up to Boston. And we'll talk about it tomorrow on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, right here on Mets Daily.